Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy. It has been a long time since we've done any maps on the stream. We've been doing plenty of stuff behind the scenes. We currently have something like 163 items on DriveThruRPG, but we have not been back here in Incarnate on stream for quite a while. The reason being, it's just that we've been pretty busy. There's been some crazy stuff going on. From career opportunities to Kickstarters to health issues to holidays. It's just been a lot over the past couple of months, so we kind of decided to turn it into an impromptu vacation of sorts, just to make sure that everything was operating properly. So we are finally back now, and we are going to be just doing like a brief look at one of the maps that we were doing last time. This is Dragonhenge, so this is one of our double maps that's going to be a reward for our Kickstarter Day 1 backers. We have a lot of those done. We just have to put a little bit of like a couple of finishing touches on things. Specifically for Dragonhenge, the basic premise of everything is put together. We already have all the terrain and everything. We have a lot of the basic kind of like flocking and like nature objects, but we are trying to add the quote-unquote 4 POIs in each of these maps. So I figured we would try and see if we could figure something out here. We do know that the big focal point in the top map is, of course, our sleeping dragon. We'll probably have some variants where it's not a sleeping baby dragon, it's something else, but I figured we would try and see what we could do about filling in the rest of those things. So let's take a look at what we got. So I figure we've got this cool dragon statue that is in our Tellest Foundry set. Let's try and tweak some of this stuff and make use of this a little bit. So there's some cool stuff that's coming where we could kind of tweak this even more if we needed to. Like if we wanted to have it like underneath this layer, we could kind of do that. But I think right now it's I don't know how much we're allowed to say about that stuff, but it would be cool. I think for now we'll just do something simple like this. We've got some blend options that we could play with. I think we're just going to do normal, and we'll have this kind of be the indicator that this is the Dragonhenge. Well, that kind of looks cool. Anyway, we're just going to go normal for now. Let's do... We're going to go back to Fantasy Battle Maps, and let's get some gold coins in here. Certainly doesn't need to be that big. I feel like this is an appropriate size. So the idea here is that people come to this area and they throw some gold coins down on the ground in front of the dragon statue for protection and safety and stuff like that. Let's make these gold coins look maybe a little less bright though. So all stamps like this. I guess it's not doing all of them. It's just doing. Let's make them. A little lighter, a little darker. You know what? Let's do something else with this too. Coins are great. Let's see if we can change the color to look a little bit more like bronze or something like that, so they're not all the same. You know what? Actually, that right there is probably. Try one more time. Let's do. Just mess with the brightness for those ones. That's okay. And let's grab a couple more and we'll make them silver. Hopefully these end up looking like coins and not like potatoes. We'll see. All right. That's good. And we've got our first POI. Let's save real quick. It's only 22 changes, but it's been a long time since we've done these live, and I don't know how well my my computer's gonna handle all this stuff. So I think we're just gonna use the one statue. We're not gonna go crazy with like the trophy heads or anything like that. But let's see if there's any other dragon stuff that we can use. Dragonfly wing shrooms. Nah, I'm not too happy with those items. Let's see. Brianna, are you listening? Are you here? Are you able to text? Yes. What ideas do you have for this map? What should we incorporate into this map? This is the Dragonhenge map that we were working on, and we already have 2 POIs. Let's see, do we have a spot where we can kind of? Where's our overlay? A decent amount of objects for this map. A lot of clipping masks. A watering hole of some kind. We can do something like that. Let's see where we've got some space to do something like that. Probably on the bottom layer. I kind of want to keep it accessible. Baby got a drink. I don't want to put it up here because water's going to come down. So let's do it here if we can. Scoot some roxes. Let's see if we can subtract a little bit. I don't even think that there's anything to subtract. Alright, so we actually have to turn off the mask effects. But what we should be able to do is some spiky bones, like prey that was eaten. We can do that, but you gotta let me breathe a little bit. We gotta take this bit by bit. Alright, let's do. I think it's gonna be foreground now. You ask for ideas, you get ideas. Additional trees of some type of fruit, like a dragon fruit patella style torches. Let's get our brown on, and we'll do that around the background. Oh, you know what? It's been a long time since I donned the glove. So we'll try and do this with a little bit more precision. I've forgotten how slow my computer runs when I'm streaming and doing this at the same time. I was spoiled a little bit because in mid-October or so we got a new gaming laptop for me, and that plays really nice. Alright, so we got that. Let's go back to the texture and let's do a little bit of color, and we're going to go darker on the foreground right around here. So it kind of looks like it curves inwards a little bit. I feel like that looks pretty nice, and maybe we'll do a little bit right here too, so it looks like there's some shadow at play. Alright, so it's not enough just to have a watering hole. Let's actually put something in there. I've done pearls and stuff before. Let's do a save real quick because we're 99 in. Let's figure out what kind of stuff we can put in there. Let's see, we've got a preview of the Dwarven expansion. There's a lot of stuff. Oh, I'm excited about the armor sets. Like I said, I don't know how much I'm able to show, so we're not going to show that. Let's go back to the east and see if there's any cool stuff that we can throw in from there. You know what? There was that one mushroom. The wing shrooms. Nah, it's not doing what I want it to do. Let's keep on looking. Let's look at some water stuff. Here's your spiky bones and stuff. Although they're mostly fish. I don't want to do that with fish. Let's see. Ocean and life. Pirate ships and sailing ships. Let me put a little bit more thought into that. I don't want to rush any ideas or anything, but I am happy with the idea. Alright, so Rihanna said the baby's got a drink, some spiky bones, maybe like a prey that was eaten. Let's do some bones. Let's see, we've got animal skeletons, bale elk skeleton, a wolf skeleton, cow, and a bear. Animal skulls. I feel like those are new. Let's see. I'm going to throw that into... Throw it into this spot over here. You need to be higher up. Otherwise, we're not going to see you. We want to randomize those. So we're just going to do a big old pile of bones. Let's see, I'm not exactly in love with where they were. Right there instead. Maybe we'll throw another couple bones down there so that people can kind of see it coming up. Rihanna wants torches. Those are too big. Let's move the poor cactuses so that they don't dry out. And Rihanna wants a different kind of tree somewhere. Let's see. We have a special kind of tree in the Tellest universe that has the cool fruits on it. Maybe we could pull that off. But I don't want to do like a fluorescent fey tree or anything like that. Got apple trees. I feel like they're just regular trees, right? I think so. So maybe we just turn this one into a special tree. Let's see, we want to do food, and let's see if we've got any other fruits that we can put up there. We got peaches, we got berries, we got lemons. Let's grab a lemon. But we're going to change the color of this lemon. And let's see. There we go. Maybe we shrink it down a little bit. Oh, you know what? Let's see if we can't do a green that kind of pops really nice. Let's check out the blend modes and see if there's a way that we can make it even cooler. I don't know if we will be able to, but I don't mind looking. Alright. Still gonna do it that way. Yep, that's fine. Not have the sliced lemons. They are not conducive to what I've got going on. Alright, let's do some other ones that maybe have a different color pattern to them. What the heck happened to you? Let's change this lemon to red. And actually, let's see if... Oh, that's not what I want to do. I want to mess with the height. So 75. Let's try that with these guys. I think we're going to do that with a decent amount of these. That way it kind of gets rid of the teardrop look a little bit. Of course. Every time I grab one, I grab it from the wrong side. Got a peculiar little fruit tree up here. You know what? I just realized though, we want them to be underneath the grid. So these are our dragon fruits. Let's do some more of these animal bones. So there's a whole mess of critters that were eaten and discarded over here. So we've got 1, 2, 3. I guess the henge itself could be considered one. Got the watering hole and the statue. Let's figure out what to do in the watering hole too. I'll tell you what, actually, we have some sponsors that we have to go listen to, so I'll keep thinking. You check out the sponsors. And now, a word from our sponsors. Brought to life by Science Magic is a great way to describe author R.J. Gould's prose debut, Cyberknight and the Hand Puppet Commandos. Reminiscent of classic Toys to Life stories like The Indian in the Cupboard and Small Soldiers, this sci-fi adventure is great for teens and preteens, as well as those who still hold a place for childlike whimsy in their heart. It's also lightly academic, with information about the world and what may lie beyond our stars. Gould is hard at work on not just 2 follow-up novels, but a graphic novel and a movie script that will hopefully bring this brand to life even bigger than ever. If you've been looking for a sci-fi that will bring some joy to your reading nook, don't wait. Check out our promo for Cyberknight and the Hand Puppet Commandos origin story on the Tellest website. A spectacular whirlwind adventure that mystifies as much as it enthralls readers, Raymond Dwayne's Quinine is the sort of epic fantasy that most people would have a hard time dreaming of. Yet, the author has done much with this universe, establishing foundational pieces of rich lore, religious history and prophecy, and wrapping it all together in a package that makes it feel like some of the best pulp fantasy of yesteryear. Indeed, there is a way that Quinine is presented that makes it feel as though this hero has been around for decades. Despite the classic feel, though, it is also wild in its imagination, with blended species bringing a sense of alien majesty to the world, which just so happens to be the massive hand of the goddess. If you'd like to learn more, head over to the Tellest website, where you'll be able to find our promotion for Quinine by Raymond Dwayne. Alright, so guess what? I remembered to turn back my audio. Alright, we're going to do a little bit more here to try and make the rocks look like they're in this little pond, and I think we're just going to throw a dagger in there. Let's see. A couple more little stones that we can throw in. how every single one of these stones has a little buddy. I don't need a buddy. Alright, there we go. So we got the dagger floating there at the bottom. Maybe what we can do is disguise it a little bit. We'll throw like a flower or something in there. Let's do like a lily. You don't need to be transparent. But you do need to be above the dagger. Okay, and we'll grab a couple more lily pads that we can throw in here. This one, scooch it down a little bit. Scooch this one down a little bit. All right, so we've got our 2 POIs down here. Let's do another save real quick. All right, so we got our 3 POIs up here, 2 down here. I said the watering hole, the spiky bones, the tree, torches. The torches are kind of just part of the shrine that we have over here. Let's see what else we got. I don't think we're going to find anything there that I like. Poor dragon hunter that didn't do his job right. You're going to have to be a bit smaller though, sir. That's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to move the layer down. Let's change his color too. I feel like we've seen the dark blue variety a lot, so let's make it green. It blends in with the tree a little bit. And maybe we could do a couple of footsteps or something. Some shoe tracks. And they're going to change to that. And he leapt off of that. Made it a couple more steps. And whatever injury he received. You know, we can actually over here. They're very discreet. And it could be because they're a layer too low. No, there we go. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4 up here. We got the watering hole with the dagger, the dragon, and maybe we can do something over here. So we got some extra space for it. just take a good look at everything real quick. And looking at the dwarven stuff. That's a sneak preview that we're not ready for. We're going to have a dragon egg and a variant, so I don't want to do anything like that. I do like how they have the holiday stuff back full time. Let's see. This isn't for over there. I just wanted to throw a frog on one of these lily pads. What else we got? Frogs and food and stuff. Don't need that. Let's do some like urns or something like that. It's gonna be fun playing with the dwarven stuff. Let's see, we've got some chestnut urns, some cemetery urns. Let's do some woven baskets that we can put up here. So the idea being that, again, the villagers or whoever, they're coming up here and they're giving goodies to whatever dragon to feed to their young. And let's try and figure out some kind of meats to throw in here. Is there another basket that I can use that makes it look like it maybe fell down? No. That poor guy got chewed up. And we use one of those ones there. Sausage links. Oh, my phone is down there. More sausages and chicken. chickens now. Just a whole dead chicken for this darn dragon. Let's see, maybe we have like a barrel that I could throw there. It's not a basket, but it'll look like one. Skinny it up a little bit, make it look like a smaller barrel. Above the rock. Look like it smacked the rock and then fell over. Alright, we need one more change. Rihanna, what's your last idea for us? And where would you put it? We got this area covered, this area covered. Something blue, a TARDIS. Let's see, we've got, let's do the segments real quick and figure out how much space we actually got. I'm going to say we have about up to there. Something like that to play with. A lot of orange tones, and blue is the opposite of orange. I don't know if I can easily get blue, but we can look and see if anything pops that's blue. A lot of stuff in the Fey area, but I don't know if I want to use the Fey stuff. I mean, just because I'm looking for something blue doesn't mean it needs to start as something blue. Look at that area one more time and see what we could do. I feel like I want to do something with like this wall. I feel like this wall has some potential. Let's get rid of that path. I don't really need that now. Maybe a makeshift tent and a campfire. I actually don't mind that. And that could kind of go nicely with the poor guy who didn't make it. Kind of explain that that's who had something over here. Throw that up there, and let's go and get a tent. We got some small tents here. Let's see if this looks the part once we mess with the hue a little bit. There we go, and then we're preserving a little bit of the shadow. Thanks, Dragon Craze. Dragon Craze says, holy crap, this is looking phenomenal. Let's see if we can't get that to be blue. It's more of a, oh, there we go. It's kind of like a lilac. There we go. That's a blue that I like. The wood is blue too, but I don't think that that's a huge problem. It's our first time in a long time. We haven't really done a stream since I want to say like the middle of October, because we were doing a Kickstarter that kind of kept us busy, and then my wife ended up getting sick like right after we got all settled away, and then we had the holidays and all that good stuff. But it's good to have you here. All right, so this is going to be a burned out campfire. And maybe I'll shrink it down just a smidge. Right there. And this guy went and he found a nice log to sit on. And let's take a step back. Yeah, the Kickstarter went pretty well. It was a nice boost to everything, and it definitely helped to bring a bigger set of maps to people. We've got like 78 maps that came out because of that Kickstarter, so I'm not complaining one bit. Let's grab one of these rocks over here and butt it up right against the log. Thanks for the follow. I have to remember to wear my my headphones. I just like kind of heard it in the background real quick, and that was it. Let's see. All right, so we've got our 4 points of interest down here now, and then up here we've got the poor unfortunate guy who used that tent. Our sleeping dragon feasted on some animals a few times. We've got this strange fruit tree. Let's see. Alright, I think this map's as done as it's going to be for the non-variant versions. So I'm going to do one more save, and then we're going to prep something that we haven't done for a while. We're going to hope that the stream deck is working right. And then Dragon Craze, if you want, I'll take you over to the... so this map is going to be kind of like a spot for just various dragon activities. I like to have like a couple of different variants, so I thought that it was, you know, you'd have like an egg variant, you'd have this one, which is kind of like our standard one, where you've got like a sleeping baby dragon, and then you would have like various different times where this dragon has come back here. So he'll be an adult dragon who might be hanging out, or you might see years and years and years later he would have like his skeleton. You know, we'd have, instead of the little sleeping dragon, we'd have one of these. Something like that. Sometimes I just have like a vague idea that comes to mind, and I don't have a really big story behind it. A lot of the maps that we do on this channel, they have to do with like the fantasy world that we've been building. I'll show you a couple of examples of that, but we do have one thing to do if the stream deck will let me, and that is So this one I'm going to have to come back and do some variants to. But I will show you maybe a couple of our other things that we've done some variants to. So this is, for an example, one of the contest maps that we were working on. This was when they were doing like their festival sets and everything. We did this one as our base one. Let's see, Dragon Craze says he loves it when creators do variants. It helps them fit better into the world when you can add more story specific versions or can build a story around the map. I like to do when it comes to a lot of this stuff, like I'll do a basic version and I'll do like an unfurnished. So like if I'm going to throw my own ideas in there, I feel like people are stuck with those ideas. But you know, if you have your own concept of what you want to do, we can take a lot of that out. So for instance, we have this right here, which is like our standard version. And this was supposed to be like a big festival that's based on when my wife and I went to vend at our very first Renaissance fair. But you don't have to have any of this for other variations of the map. So like you could have all of this festival stuff gone and it would instead look like a barracks or a keep or something like that. But this was the standard set, and then let's take a step back out. I don't know why I went in there. I could have just expanded. And then we've got just a version without the fireworks that's a little brighter and more saturated. This is the unfurnished version. You've got some basics, you know, structure that's still here, but the fair moved on. And then we've got a version that has some people that we're throwing in. I definitely have to do a lot more when it comes to throwing all of our little character tokens. Do you Dragon Craze, do you end up using things like Incarnate, or do you use any other like map making tools? They're little peoples. Each one of these maps that we do, they all kind of follow a specific like size. We do our maps 20 by 40, and this was just a huge map. You can see it's way bigger. It's actually a what is it? 60 by 120. We went a little too big for that. We spent a long time when it came to that. Let's head over to Drive-Thru RPG. I'll show you some of those things too. I used to do, I mean, I've been doing Incarnate almost like religiously for like the last 2 years, but I used to be doing like Dungeon and stuff like that, or Dungenie. But yeah, these days it's just Incarnate. I feel like there's a lot of like modular activity that you can do with that. I figured while we're here, I'll show you some of the stuff that we did recently. So we've got over on Drive-Thru RPG, and you can get there by going to battlemapfantasy.com. It'll take you straight to our page, and these are like all the maps that we've made recently. So again, we have I think something like 163 items, 164 items up right now. So a lot of that was because of that Kickstarter that we mentioned earlier. We had a lot of support for that Kickstarter. I wish I had the time to sit down and get good with Incarnate. I'll tell you what, like, it really is like something where like if you spend like an hour a day, maybe like 3 days a week, you'll start to get good. I'll show you one of the maps that we made early on. And it's still very popular. This map here was the very first map that I ever made. You can see the last edit that I made on it was 2 years ago, and it's one of my most popular ones. So you all you have to do is practice a little bit, and you can end up with some pretty cool stuff with Incarnate. And Dungeon Draft is the one that does like the AI, right? I know that my brother was exploring one of the ones that had like AI, like you would highlight an area and then say, I need you to do this with it, and it would kind of build it out. You could almost do kind of a hybrid of the two of them, and you could use the AI version to say, like, give me an example, and then you could take that idea and kind of flesh it out and incarnate. Um, Matt has done some. Oh yeah, you're right. It is Dungeon Alchemist. This was like my second map ever, and another pretty popular one. Like when people see it, like at conventions and fairs and stuff like that. There's just a lot that you can do with Incarnate, and they're always building on it. There's some really cool features that are coming out. I'm an explorer for Incarnate, which means that like anytime there's like a new feature coming, I get to preview it. And I don't know how much I can say, but they've got, it's going to be a lot more customizable soon for everybody, and I think that that's going to make life a lot easier for folks. And I feel like they drop these really cool features that like feel like they're super big, and it's like I don't need anything that big. Like, give me something small, and it just kind of blows you away, the stuff that they do. But let me see if we have any other maps that we can show off. Just some really basic stuff that I did early on. And it took me a while to get Matt's maps in here too, but yeah, I mean this was very early on. You can see these are all 2 years ago. I feel like you give it a little bit of time, and you'll end up with some stuff that really impresses you. And we were doing things that were either random or like ideas from like the book series that I write, and you just kind of like let the ideas flow, and it helps to have someone like my wife downstairs listening, so that if I have any idea dearths that I have, I can poke her and say, hey, help me out. And one of the things that I like to do, you'll see like the forest entrance map that I showed you. Let's see if I go to Forest Lake. No, I want the actual Forest Lake. I don't know where my regular Forest Lake map went. Let's go back to the folders and go to Patreon, post it, and we'll head all the way down. Rihanna saying, just being creepy here to help. You know what, though? You're always going to think that the work that you do is not up to par. And the best part is you're going to improve over and over and over again. And then 10 years down the line, you're going to say the work that you really thought was good was bad too. At any time that you're an artist, you're always going to make yourself out to be less than, but you don't have to feel that way. There we go. This was the one. We ended up making a sequel to that entrance map, and this is kind of what makes life easy when you're zigzagging, is what I do. I'll do a map that is just a sequel to a map that I've done before, and you can see that there's a little bit of connective tissue between that one and the original one that we did. So you can see here was where the lake connected and everything. And at this point, we've got, I think, 6 maps in the forest zone. Let's see. We've got the Forest Wishing Well. Hate most of the writing that you do, but people seem to love it. And yeah, that's kind of the thing. We torture ourselves, but people enjoy what we do. So yeah, I think keep it up if it's something that you're interested in. They say that it's like 10,000 hours with something before you become an expert. But as long as you're enjoying yourself before that, I don't think that it's not a waste of time or anything like that. But I do tell you what, we are getting to the 55-minute mark. I was only expecting to be on for like a half an hour, and then I got stuck in that Dragonhenge map a little bit longer than I was expecting. We're going to wrap up for tonight, but I will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's head over to our show closing page for now. So on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest content out there on the internet. Tellest.com is a great first place to start. It'll usually bring you to any of the other projects that we're working on at the time. We've got a couple of premium sites that you can go to as well. Patreon.com/Tellest is where you can find digital versions of our maps. Probably the cheapest you'll find them because you can get them all at a very affordable price. And we recently opened up commercial licensing options on Patreon as well, and started to throw in some of our asset packs. And if you want to get something that maybe is a little bit more a la carte, you can go to our drive-through RPG, which can be found at battlemapfantasy.com. The physical versions of our maps, like big 20 by 40 game pads, you can find at tellest.etsy.com. We are currently out of stock on those, but our vendors should be refilling those shortly, we're hoping. A couple other places that you can check out. TikTok is back temporarily, permanently, who knows. You can go to tiktok.com/@weirdwitchwands to look at Rihanna's one-of-a-kind handcrafted magic wands, or you can check out our pups on @TalesOfTellest. And then we've got two other places that you should check out. youtube.com/@worldoftellest, where you can find a lot of the videos that we've made in the past. But if you do want to check us out live, twitch.tv/thattellestguy is the place that you want to go. I wanted to thank everybody for dropping by today. Rihanna, thank you for helping me build that map. It's been a long time, so I felt a little bit rusty. And Dragon Craze, thank you for dropping by at the end there. And we will see everybody next time. We'll miss you.